From the OUTV Broadcast Center in Los Angeles, California, this is Brief News Brief, a brief look at today's trending news topics, proudly combating the thought police since 2016. Here's your host, James Heaney.
I'm James Heaney, and this is Brief News Brief. President Trump did something unprecedented today, something that a president has never done before. He fired the FBI director, who wasn't even under investigation and hadn't specifically done anything wrong recently. But he fired Jim Comey today. James Comey's out. And the first thing I want to say is, it's about damn time. Do you remember the debacle that he caused just before the election? He was so politically sided when he came out and talked about the investigation that allegedly was happening with Hillary Clinton, but made no mention at all of Donald Trump. So yeah, it's about time. Us liberals, we were rooting for this for months now, and finally we got a victory. But secondly, I want to say, how could you do this, Donald Trump? That is completely unprecedented. You're going to fire the FBI director, the sitting FBI director. You don't even have another person that you're going to put in his position. And on top of that, he's running an investigation in the middle of the big one, biggest one in my lifetime, about the government. And specifically, one of those people, maybe you're not the focus of it, but you are, at the very least, part of the investigation. Donald Trump has fired the person that is investigating something that is possibly linking him to collusion with the Russians. Now, this happened so suddenly. The paperwork calling for his resignation had today's date on it, which means a couple different things. First of all, either this paper was written today, so it's possible that this is just a gut instinct that he had today where he's like, gotta fire him, which would make sense because where James Comey was here in California, in Hollywood, speaking with FBI agents at the time that he was told he was fired. And then he was shuffled into a car and driven across LA in a very O.J. Simpson-like fashion. But he was on his way. Tonight, he was supposed to be doing a speech for to get new hires. It was a recruiting event for the FBI. So that recruiting event must have still gone on. You don't cancel a big recruiting event just because James Comey gets fired. But don't you think it's going to be a little bit odd when the agents that were with him when he was fired have to stand in front of a whole bunch of people and be like, you know what? Working for the FBI is a great experience. In Canyon City, Colorado, at 4 Mile Correctional Center, 8,000 prisoners are receiving tablets for free. Some people are saying prisoners shouldn't get the luxury of tablets. They need no entertainment while they're being punished. They should serve their time. And other people are saying these people being punished are human beings, and we want them, when they're reformed, to come back into American society as a functioning member of society. And to do that, we don't want to seclude them, isolate them from our culture. Let them enjoy this while they serve their time. Now, I think both things have valid points to them. Personally, I feel like it's a little tunnel vision to have either point of view. Think of it like this. Don't care if they have PlayStation 4s or chocolate sundaes every day. What we can't allow to happen is there be profit involved with prisons. And I know maybe I didn't mention this. Those tablets that are free, there's something that comes along with those called microtransactions. I know my gamer friends out there know what that is. 25 cents for a text message to send from prison to your loved one. If you're on the outside, a family member, it's also 25 cents to send a message in. Now, if you would like to make a phone call, 20-minute phone calls, about $3. That's a pretty good deal. For $7 for every 2 months, you can get a subscription fee that allows you access to streaming music and movies and games. Pretty incredible. Those are great deals. The problem is that they only have one choice to get these things. If you want to send a text message, you pay this money to the company that's running your time served in prison. All of a sudden, prisons have become even more so a for-profit experience. It's like they're not even trying to hide it anymore. Now, if we can start charging that, it's a slippery slope. Are you going to start having to pay off the debts that you earn in prison? Or are you going to have to make the money that you spend to send that 25-cent text? Do you have to work in the prison for that? And if that's the case, they can charge whatever they want. Your fees... I recently read a book called Ready Player One, and that book paints a dystopian future where there's debtors' prisons, okay? And people in those prisons are treated fairly well when you consider it a prison. You get a VR helmet and you can have access to the net in that sense. But people's debts keep going up further and further because of all the charges the prison's charging just to house them, which they're not allowed to leave anyways. I think it's the first slippery step down the slope, and we have to watch out for our trajectory. Keep an eye on it. It's poll tally time. Would you like to try a piece of chocolate cake from the Mar-a-Lago? It's half and half. 50% say you'd put it in your mouth, and the other half say it's too rich for my blood. Secondly, do you think that Donald Trump should meet with Kim Jong-un? The answer that we all agree on is only if Vladimir Putin is the moderator of that conversation. And finally, do you think Donald Trump could have stopped the Civil War if he were alive? We can all agree, absolutely not. Some of us even think it would have been a world war. It's time for you to give us your opinions on these new things. First question, should prisoners be allowed to have tablets in prison? What do you think? Should they get them for free? Secondly, how do you feel about James Comey losing his job? And finally, most importantly, which Ninja Turtle are you most like?